All right, I'm back, and I am stepping up my bead roller game, as you might have guessed already, and going from my gigantoid wheel that I adapted from my tubing roller that I've used quite a bit, and it's adequate, but for obvious reasons, I feel like electric is better, and I'd like to step it up. And anyways, I dropped the money on it, and after doing some research, I went with the Woodward fab unit, and here's why. Basically, there's only 2 units on the market for these things, for these cheaper bead rollers like this, and one is the Woodward fab and one's the Eastwood. And from what I can tell, the main difference is that the Woodward fab is a 1/2 horsepower motor, where the Eastwood is a 1/6. So essentially, and maybe there may be differences in gear reduction on that too, to where the actual torque output may not be that much different, but in my brain, it's got twice the power. And down the road, I'd like to make a bigger bead roller from scratch with a 36-inch throat, and I thought maybe it would be worth the investment to go for the higher torque motor to begin with. The second thing I like about it is it's got a variable speed foot pedal. The Eastwood has a speed controller up here, and then your on-off switch, forward, reverse, on-off. And it just has, from what I can tell, it just has an on-off pedal. So you set your speed, and that's what you get. And that's not something you can't live with, but in my mind, like if I want to come up to a corner and slow down and then speed up down a long run down a straight, like I would like to be able to just do that with my foot instead of, I don't know. I'm not that you're stuck with your setting, but I just felt like in my mind that for me that I would rather have it in the foot pedal, and maybe I'll regret that, I don't know, but I wanted to make a quick video of the basic install and just kind of the basics of why I chose that unit. I already have the Woodward fab bead roller, if you've seen any of my other videos, which you probably haven't, but I've stiffened up the back and made a little table. And I just wanted to, I'm going to throw this on. It attaches very easily. It just has your 2 bolts that attach your bearing box here on the back is what's going to hold that on. And then it's just got a Lovejoy that attaches to the drive. And this is designed for their bigger rollers, but it looks like it's going to be plug and play for this. I'll find out here shortly and report back on if I had to make any actual changes. I was planning on possibly having to, because their other ones have 19mm shafts and this one's a 22, and I thought maybe I might have to bore this out, but it fits perfect. So I'm going to slap it on there real quick. It looks like about a 15-minute install and be plugging away here. All right, got her on there, got her working, and here's what I found. For my particular roller, the slots are, number 1, not long enough, and number 2, the bracket is hitting my brace I have on the back side. So to make this work long term, what I need to do is cut, I don't know, 1 inch off that bracket and lengthen those slots. But it comes with some washers, and I assume they're shims. I didn't read the instructions. I have instructions, but I didn't read them. But they're a shim to align your Lovejoy, basically. And what I ended up with was reusing the original washers that came off of these bolts, because it does come with longer bolts. It comes with 2 different sets of longer bolts. One in the larger size, which I assume is for the bead roller this is really intended for, and then it also comes with a set that did fit. So what I did to overcome this for the time being is slid that bottom shaft over, because with that not being slotted enough, there was not enough shaft sticking out for the Lovejoy for the set screw to catch onto. And you could cheat a little bit on this side, but it still wasn't going to be enough. So what I need to do is, like I said, slot them holes a little deeper and then cut the bracket off, and it'll fit right. But this is going to be good enough to work for now, because like I said, right now my gears aren't aligned, but it's not going to matter. There was one other thing I was going to say. Oh, what it was I run my top roller, and maybe I'm doing this wrong, but I have to run this top bearing block. I have to run that bolt loose so that that shaft can work up and down whenever I'm working. I need to move the piece around. My original plan was to basically get too long of a bolt and cut it off to where it bottomed out right as the block was about snugged up, you know, and kind of work on it until it bottomed out where I like the amount of resistance on the pillow block. But the way this is mounted is kind of critical that that bolt be tight, which means now this is tight. So I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to overcome that one for sure just yet, other than just super tightening the bottom bolt for now. Like I said, that's an important part of holding this thing on, and it's something that's going to affect the use of it. So, but anyways, it was a quick install. I had to try every single set of washers. I tried them all, and then I thought it needed no washers, and then I got it on there. My Lovejoy wasn't lined up, but so just shim it until your Lovejoy is straight up and down and side to side, and it goes super slow. I mean, you can just creep, or it goes fairly fast. It doesn't go super fast, but honestly, that's for bead rolling, that's moving right along. I think it said it's 20 RPM wide open, but say the slow stuff to me is more important than the fast stuff, and then you can adjust it on the fly with the foot pedal. But here's your forward and reverse. But anyways, that was just a quick rundown of what it takes, and maybe one of these days, if anybody cares, I'll post an update of how I like it long term. The first step to putting it on there, I left this out, but was to take this cover off. This has 6 bolts in it. Hides all the dirty business and keeps your fingers out of there, but that's no fun anyways, so that's probably not going to go back on, honestly. But it does add a lot of weight. I run mine in the vise, and I had to scooch it over in the vise to move the center of gravity, but I got a project already lined up, and I'm ready to rock and roll on it, so we'll see how it goes. All right, quick review since I knocked out a little small project on it, and it's plenty fast. I will say, I tried running it through I've got a speed control that I modified. I use on my die grinder for porting heads, and it really didn't seem to slow it down much. Plus, I wasn't crazy about running a low voltage. I don't want to burn the motor up, but it is plenty fast. So even though it looks like it's just creeping, I mean, it looks like it's just barely moving. Once you get into some like intricate details and stuff, if you're doing any kind of artwork with it, I'm finally kind of started to figure out just to kind of bump it a little bit. And there's a little delay between, like, I don't know if you can hear the pedal and then the motor, but you can kind of pulse it and get through some of those tighter curves. But other than that, I mean, it's nice. It's definitely electric drive. It's not real noisy, but like I said, it's plenty fast. I could handle it going a little bit slower for intricate stuff. I mean, just putting beads in a panel, or long straight runs, sinking a little, putting some shape in it, or I don't know what that's called when you put like a triangle in it or whatever, but it'd be fine on stuff like that. But artsy kind of stuff, it's plenty fast for us, so I think I can get used to it. It's just I'm used to my hand wheel and really having real fine speed control, and overall, like I said, I think I'm going to like it. I'm just going to take a minute to get used to, so.